Peace Internet, it's me Vonnie, aka Davon Raymond, and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to Lazy Vlogs. Okay, you guys can see wherever the timer is, this is like a 2-3 minute video. We are not going to be here for very long. I really just wanted to say 3 quick things. One, I liked doing regular, lazy vlogs, doing them on the regular basis, so here's my attempt to add another one in between, like, anything really happening in my life. This is just kind of like a hi type of video. 2, today I drove around doing my Amazon job. I live here in upstate New York, and we had a little bit of a snowstorm, and you can already imagine driving an electric Amazon van in hilly upstate New York with snow and ice and hail. It was epic in all of the negative associations of that word. It has been an epic day. Okay, so the third thing, I was walking around after I finished work. I'm walking around in the world in upstate New York, and the snow's coming down. It's nighttime, and it's looking like really cool. And I'm listening to that one song. It's like, I want your things in my room, I miss you all of the time. Alright, I didn't really get a chance to warm up the old pipes, and I'm trying to be quiet because it's late, and yeah, and anyway, I don't want to bother anybody else in the house, but it's a Friday night! It's a Friday night, baby! So, I don't know. No one here is young enough to care about Friday night, but, to be honest. What's the point that I'm trying to make is that I'm listening to that song in my room, and it's like connecting me to like those past memories of being young, and lately I've been doing a lot of reflecting on my life, and we all do, right, all the time, but you're walking, you're listening to like some sad music, love, breakup, whatever, I don't know. And, you're isolated in the snow, in the dark, with headphones by yourself, listening to this, and my brain goes back to 14 years ago. 14 years ago, I was 16, and I met a girl, a lovely young lady by the name of, well, I guess I shouldn't say her name, but she was incredible, I was 16, she was 16. Pretty sure it was like that, or I was 17, she was 16, something like that. Something like our birthdays are only a few months apart, so it wasn't anything crazy. But that girl, who I met through dating, I dated this girl, right, for like 24 hours. And I was messaging her on Facebook or whatever. And turns out I was actually messaging my would-be girlfriend, who was best friends with my girl who I was talking to at the time. And she was too nervous to really talk with me, so she had her friend talk with me, and then her friend ended up taking me from her. High school, silly drama, you tell me, I don't know. Really, I was just a virgin and interested in girls immensely, and the one who's actually treating me like a human, who cares that I exist, who compliments me and has the confidence enough to talk with me, I'm going to talk to you, not the girl who's just certain personalities work with me, I've realized, whether 10 years ago plus or now, and it just didn't really work with me. Someone who's very, 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 very sheepish. Basically, they just weren't mature enough to be in a relationship. No one that young, really very few people that young could probably deal with being in a relationship. And unfortunately, this young lady was dating me, who was a virgin, right, which was good, who had basically bare minimum, had only kissed one other person before dating her, and that was because a friend group was like, you guys should kiss, and then we kissed. It was so stupid. Back to the girl. This girl was addicted to heroin, and she was my first love. I lost my virginity to her, everything. The echoes of that relationship, the damage, the growth, the skewed perspectives, that the horrible habits that I adopted from, not heroin. I just mean like the way I process things emotionally, the you know, poor choices, impulsivity, so on and so forth, that you would see in maybe a younger set, a less mature person, well, those behaviors definitely you expect from young people, but when they recur, persist, and still exist in someone who's in their 20s into their 30s, it's really not good. You know, good habits, yes. Bad habits, really no. Damage, no. Trauma, whatever. I'm not going to say I was traumatized by this girl in any way, shape, or form, though let's be honest, if I really started to talk to you guys about the details of this relationship, then, I mean, I think I actually was a little bit. A little bit of trauma. Okay. I let an extreme amount of horrible things go by. Things that are absolutely manipulative, disgusting, and terrible. And I was dealing with that in my first relationship with the girl who I lost my virginity to. So, it's crazy. I have regret to a degree. At the time, absolutely not. Later on, yes. But I have a lot of, you know, I think back and I'm like, damn, I would like to know what my life would have been like, how different it would be. I'm sure it wouldn't be immensely different, but how different would it have been had I not dated this girl who was addicted to drugs, self-harm, so many long lists of terrible things, cigarettes at age 16. Like, if I didn't normalize wicked, horrible behavior at such an impressionable age, you know, how would I be now? I like how I am. No, I don't. But I kind of like how I am. And I don't want to be, I mean, I want to be different. I want to be better in all the ways that I can be, for sure I do. But I can't help but think, like, damn, I wonder how things would have been. Now, my point, clearly this is not, like I said, a 2-3 minute long video. Never mind. But to wrap this up, I thought, well, really, I was bringing up that to say it's crazy to see how my life kind of branched, and right now, 14 years later, there's still the potential for it to branch into something else. No matter what, no matter how old you are. Now, if you're in your 90s, your life probably isn't going to be changing all that much. You know. But me being 30, you know, with no kids, blah, 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 you know, I could have kids and then my life would go crazily different, you know. I could have, you know, whatever. I could get sick and my life could change in a terrible way, you know. But there's always the chance for change and for things to not go how they've been going. And I'm excited to know what my life is going to look like, you know, after going through this trial, going through that trial, attempting, jumping, falling, reaching, failing, you know. I really wonder, like, where are we going to be at, you know, in 1 year's time? I have no idea. I have no idea, and I hope I can come back to this video not still sitting in this chair. If I am still sitting in this chair, dude, you know what you need to have done by a year from now. You know what you know. You know what you need to have done. What you're working on right now. You know. You didn't tell them watching, but you watching this later, Dave, you know. So, but yeah, so we'll end this with a quote from my grandfather that my mother, he would always tell her, and now she tells me that, you know, this too shall pass. So, keeping my optimism up as much as possible. I'm excited about the future, even though my eyes are dead and I'm out of energy and I'm very tired. It's been a long day. But I do feel optimistic and open, you know, to what may come next. So, I hope you guys are feeling the same. Maybe after you heard my little spiel, A, you're probably tired of hearing me talk. B, 2, maybe you, can relate, or, 3, maybe you just want to hear more stories, and I got plenty. Like the time I slept on a beach, it wasn't as cool as you think. Anyway, damn, maybe I was traumatized. Alright guys, I'll see you later. Thank you so much for checking out Lazy Vlogs with me, Vonnie, aka Dave Von Raymond. Be sure to subscribe, and, by the way, I am active on my Instagram. I pretty much post there daily on the story, every now and again on the reels. Try to do like once a week post, you know what I mean? But, this is really what I like to do, is this content, where I can just be me, okay. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Until next time, peace.